Guys, so a couple of years ago, I wanted to come on here and just say this story because I feel like I'm still in recovery, and I mean, not really recovery, more kind of like just evolving and kind of like looking back at to how things were and to how they are now, and pretty much. So, okay, this is a very simple story, but I need to say it the way it is and the way I've experienced it. So, when I moved to New York, I moved to New York 2 years ago, and I was 340 pounds. I was really overweight, anxious and depressed, and everything negative. And so I remember every time I have this park like in front of my house, in front of the apartment, and every time I would come in the summer, I would hate the summer because when I would come here, I'm like breathing deeply. When I would come here, I would look around at people and I would see how like kind of like calm and relaxed they were, how they weren't anxious and they could just be in public and not feel like they're being judged and not feel like they're being criticized. And they could just lay down on the grass and just relax without a care in the world, like pretty much just being free and confident. And I would look at them and like just sprawled out on the grass. Like, this sounds so dramatic, but I'm telling you, I'm dramatic. That's the way I am. That's the way my life has been. So I would pretty much like, I would come, right, being 340 pounds and just being huge and just kind of like walking. I remember just like, I'm literally documenting this, but I would like walk from that corner and just walk and just be so scared. And so like I was like shaking because I knew that everywhere that I went, being 340 pounds, I was shamed. I was looked at negatively. I was talked about. I was bullied. And even if they wouldn't say it to my face, I knew that that's what was happening. Because I that's society. Society is superficial. And so I was always writing. And I wrote down in my journal, and I would always write down like in notebooks, like physical notebooks, because like in my notes, I feel like on your phone it's just weird, but like I would take my notebook and I wrote down in my notebook, and I just found it today, precisely on that page too, like very strange, because today's like it's really sunny outside, like I don't know, so it's been like super like cold and wintry in New York and very depressing. Winter seasonal depression is very real here in New York, and so now it's sunny and it's like really beautiful outside, as you can see, very nice. And so okay, yeah, so what was I saying? Sorry, ADD. And so I would come here and I would see how happy and how content people looked, and just how relaxed. And I'm not saying that that's the truth, who knows what people are going through, but I couldn't even, I want to, you know why I want to cuss? I'm a Christian. I love God. I love Jesus. Anointed. Like, Jesus is it. But yo, I gotta cuss. I'm gonna just cuss, all right? I know I don't want to. I shouldn't, God, but I have to. I was so fucking crippled by that anxiety that I couldn't even go outside. Yo. I couldn't go outside. I couldn't go outside, dude. I couldn't leave my fucking house. So you know what? I'm gonna say my story the way it is. I'm gonna say it how it is. I'm not going to overthink it or have anxiety about sharing it, because it has to be shared. This is my story. This is the way it is. This is me. This is my journey. And so just something as simple as that, as just going outside and like sitting down and relaxing, that was super far-fetched. I was like, that's impossible, because I knew that whenever I would go outside, I would feel incredibly uncomfortable. I would feel anxious. I would feel like if people were staring at me, it was like they were criticizing me, because what I perceived about myself was that I was disgusting, and I didn't And so that feeling, so like that weight that was on top of me, it was like obstructing all of the talents, all of the things that I had inside of myself, which was I was always a fashion designer. I was always into fashion. I was always into writing. I was always into music. I was always into communicating and speaking, and I had all these dreams and I had all these ideas. And whenever I would speak about them with somebody would be like, that's not gonna happen. So you know what? They would criticize you. They would belittle you. And you know what God does? You know what God does? I gotta take my glasses off. I'm not mad. I'm grateful. But there's moments sometimes even now where just after the whole process of like my weight loss journey and just coming into myself, into who I really am and who I've always been, it's not that I get mad at society or anything, but I'm healing, I'm healing from those years, and I don't even cry anymore about it, because there was I spent a long time thinking like, just feeling self-pity about myself, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm grateful, and what I know and what I've realized is that the hand of God is perfect. And when you go through these really sad situations, like you're pushed aside, you're treated badly, all these type of things, but you reached out to God, like during those times, I would always pray, even though I felt like I didn't really believe. I would always pray. I prayed during the entire journey of me being like, I would always pray and pray and pray and pray. And so it's kind of like now, like being able to enjoy life and see life from a different perspective, and battle those, having battled those demons and overcoming that. It just gives me a new perspective for life, and I appreciate everything so much more now. And the point of this message is, if you're going through anxiety, social anxiety, depression, mental health, emotional health, whatever it is that you're going through, it doesn't matter what you're going through, God will always get the glory. If you put him in it, if you put him in your mess, if you put him in whatever it is that you're going through, he will get the glory. He's gonna get it. It's not even about you. It's more about, putting him in your journey, and then watching what he does, watching the strength he gives you, watching the way that he changes your mind, the way you think, the way that you act, everything, and so, yeah. That was the point of this video. I hope this blesses and encourages someone today that it doesn't matter where you came from, as long as you put God first, there is no limit to where you're going or to where you're gonna go. So put him first. Stay blessed, everyone. Bye.